Do you want to kick it off the with the missing girl?
So, yes. So, there's a story of a missing girl. Her name is Sudiksha Konanki, and she's a 20-year-old girl. I didn't catch where she's from. That's the part that I don't know. Where she's from, though.
She's a
I know she's a college
college.
student.
I want to
It,
say from the U.S.
That's what I thought too. I wasn't sure because of the name. But there's a 24-year-old wrestler that's being accused of foul play because of her disappearance, because he was the last person that was seen alive with this woman.
Yeah, and so basically what happened is she was with six of her friends going to Puerto Cano. They're, enjoying spring break, having a good time, and this girl disappears. So once she disappears, there's this big investigation. They find out that there's this wrestler that was with her, and like supposedly he confessed to kissing her, and shortly after she's just gone. So they're like, okay, this guy is definitely a suspect. um, there was a guy that has basically been working at the resort for forever. I mean, long time. And so he knows this isn't the first time he's seen this. He knows kind of how the tides work and how everything goes, because the police are saying it was a drowning, and she passed away that way. But he's saying the way the tides are there and the way the ocean life is, she wouldn't have been eaten by something, not fully, and she would have washed into shore
By
if
now.
right, if that was the case. So the only option is she is buried somewhere under that sand. They found her cover up that she had. She had like a white silk cover up on, and she had flip flops on, and they found both of those, but that's the only thing they found. So
Right. I think they found the cover up and one flip flop.
right. One flip flop. So they're investigating this guy who kissed her. There's this big whole thing because he already has a girlfriend. So, like, they were like, oh, this is kind of weird. The assumption is that he tried to force himself on her sometime while they were on the beach. She didn't want that, obviously, and he, whether intentionally or not, unalived her and then buried her, which it seems from all the evidence and what some more experts are saying, it seems like a feasible thing, like this could have happened. So he is currently being detained at the hotel. He's not allowed to leave, and
They took
they're
his passport away.
yep, they took his passport, so he can't just go. If he wants to go anywhere like in the area, he has to have police escort, stuff like that. So I don't know, man. This happens all the time. I mean, this happens a lot where people are on vacation, they're in an unfamiliar place, and there are crazies around, and next thing you know, they're gone.
You know what? It's really given Holloway vibes to a lot of people. Have you ever been on spring break to like one of those resort places? Because I have, and I've
Mhm.
experienced some crazy things that kind of make me believe there's a lot of scenarios that could have went into play. Like I know other countries, like when I was in Mexico, I was in Cancun one year for spring break. You could get roofies right at the pharmacy.
Oh yeah. There's always stuff floating around. There's a lot of drunk people. There's everybody's kind of it's that culture of, oh, I can have a quick fling with somebody and no one will ever know. And I mean, how many times do you see like a TikTok of someone showing a baby, like a mom showing a baby and being like, hey, to the guy I hooked up with on spring break, 2 years ago, you have a kid, by the way. I see those quite a bit.
Bro, what side of TikTok are you on?
Oh, bro, dude, they're all over the place. Have you never seen those? It's
I
seriously,
have, I have. I'm only aggravating you.
it's just like I don't understand. And and they're trying to have a fling and they're on vacation so they don't have all the things they need. So then it's like, yeah, they end up with kids. There are probably how many thousands of kids out there that don't have a dad because that was the situation. I don't know. It's scary. This is one of those things where you have to understand when you are on vacation, stay in groups. If you're going to go hook up with somebody or something, I get the appeal, and especially for guys, everybody leads with their you know what's. But at the same time, you never know whose room you are going into. It could be a good hookup. It could be the last day you're ever around. Like, is that really worth it?
When I went, one of the times that I went to Cancun, there were 17 of us that went, and we split off. We were in the club and we kind of split off a little bit. And one of my friends was like hooking up with the bartender there,
Mm-hmm.
and she disappeared from our group. We couldn't find her. She was missing for 3 days, and she was found naked in the bathtub at a hotel. She don't even know how the hell she got there. She was
Yeah.
naked and found by the people that clean the rooms,
Yeah.
left for dead in a hotel.
And like Ricky said, do a buddy system. I mean, shit. If your goal is really to go hook up, go have a threesome. Go have fun. It don't matter. You got a buddy with you. You got you got to be safe. Like, hey, you know what? Sacrifices you got to make, homie. You know what I'm
Oh my
saying?
God. Oh man, I wasn't planning for this episode.
Hey, I am completely delusional, so we'll see where it goes. But
Well,
you gotta take those extra precautions, even if it's something as simple as having mace on you or anything. Like have mace on you, and because you can buy that stuff in most states from just a convenience store or whatever, and just it's an extra measure of protection, especially for the girls. Have your purse if you are about to hook up or whatever and you're in a bed, have the purse by the bed and it easily accessible because if
share
some
your location with a friend.
yeah, yeah,
Share your location with people. That way because technology today is different than it was 20 years ago when I was in Cancun.
yeah,
We didn't have cell phones and locations that you could have. But I think as a woman, even as a man, it's very important to have somebody share their location with
yep.
you. And
Show
not
them.
only that, but what a lot of people don't realize, a lot of these resort towns, a lot of times the bartenders are the ones that are giving you the roofies. They're in on it.
I'm not even gonna say it's a lot of times, but yes, whenever that is the case, the opportunity there just skyrockets.
Right, because
Um,
alcohol's getting mixed and
right.
people aren't realizing you're trusting the bartender that's handing the drink to you.
Mhm.
But
I,
if they have an ulterior motive, why trust? Like you can't trust anyone.
I've been roofied. Like,
See?
and I would think that it wasn't going to me. I would think it was going to one of the girls in my group because we got a tray of shots, but I still got roofied. It was the first drink of the night. Like it wasn't like I got over intoxicated.
See?
Took that, and next thing I know, I was waking up in a bed and had no idea where I was. I still had my work clothes on from the day before because I it was back in my bartending days. I got up, walked out of the room, and fortunately saw my guy Austin and was like, "Oh, I'm at Austin's house. Okay, I'm safe." But he told me I was wandering out into traffic and almost got hit by a car. It was like it's super super scary because I know absolutely nothing that happened. It was all what he told me. And fortunately, people with me that were taking care of me and I could trust.
Right. See, in my situation, I was at a bar waiting for my friends to come. Somebody offered to buy a round of drinks, and it was handed to me like a tray, like this.
Hmm.
But it was pointed, no, this is your drink. And I should have caught on to that. It went right over my head. I took the drink. It was my first drink. As I was fumbling out the door, my friends were walking in, but I fumbled out the door with some people that I shouldn't have fumbled out the door with. And
Right.
no one stopped me,
All this is kind of just to say, watch yourself, be
right?
safe, be smart.
Always be safe. And like, give your location to a trusted friend, carry mace, carry these things to protect yourself. Even if you have a small purse, you could still fit mace on a keychain somewhere.
Well, and even like the sharing your location thing, if you're with some friends or whatever, you can share your location or send a text out to one of your homies. Hey, I'm at this hotel in this room. I'm hanging out with this guy I met, but I'll hit you up in like 2 hours. If you don't hear from me, that's a problem. So even little stuff like that makes a big, big difference because that can make the difference between your life and things going really bad.
I recently saw a new update on the Apple phone. There's an actual thing on the Apple phone now where if you are sharing your location with someone and you're in a situation like that, like where, hey, give me 2 hours, and if you don't hear from me, then start checking in with me, it
Mhm.
will start sending messages to that friend for you, like, hey, check me. It's been
That's
two
good.
hours, which I think is a really good feature to have on a phone.
Oh, Indiana said something really cool. Indiana said they sell nail polish that can tell you if your drink is spiked.
Hmm.
Dip the nail in your drink and it changes color. That is super, super interesting. I've never heard of that. That
Right, I've
will
never heard
help.
of that either.
That is a huge thing. And wearing sharp rings, yeah, 1,000%. Something that you can protect yourself with. Okay, next up, I don't remember. I don't even know where I'm at right now. I'm just kind of
It's
here.
okay. It's okay. The next topic that we wanted to talk about is the Kanye and Kim
Oh,
Kardashian and P. Diddy situation.
yeah. Okay, so with that one, Kanye and Kim have kind of been going through it because this whole Alabama Barker and Bad Baby and all that stuff. But this is something that happened. So Kanye was in the process of dropping a new song. On this song, the very beginning of the song is basically a voice message from Diddy saying, hey, I appreciate you sticking it out with me and being there for me while I'm going through all this stuff. Okay, so instantly it is saying Kanye is still on Diddy's side despite everything that he's done. So that happens, you get a little bit through the song, and then it has a little probably like 2 or 3 line little verse of North, their 11-year-old daughter, who was also allegedly, who was also on the track, and then it goes into Diddy's son doing a verse pretty much. So Kim finds out about this before it's released and basically says, "Hey, I do not want our daughter mixed up in this. Like, what are you doing? This is huge allegations against Diddy. So
Right.
why the heck would you include all of them in a song and start this whole relationship?" And Kanye was like, "Oh, I'm not going to release it. I'm so sorry. I didn't see it like that." And then he goes ahead and releases it anyways. So that was just as a parent, I can understand why the fuck would you do that? I can totally understand where Kim was coming from. And
Right.
then it's the fact Kanye has North so brainwashed that now North is fighting with Kim, saying hey, if you don't let this happen, we're gonna drag this through the freaking dirt and we're gonna make this a big old public beef. She was Kim was all pissed off because she was just like, "Hey, there's also issues with trademarks with their names because for some reason they're trying to have North and West uh, their names trademarked. So I'm guessing so that no one else can give their kids that name, which is really weird. If that starts being a thing,
Sorry, but who wants to give their kids those names?
Right. It's still weird. Like, what are you doing? Just stop it. That I don't know if you could actually trademark a name, but Kim has enough power and she's
Right.
very legal savvy that I bet you she's probably figured it out because the goal was once they turn 18, their names are trademarked and no one else can have that name or image.
James said, how the heck can you trademark a direction?
No, it's
Right. Right, James.
fascinating, man.
How?
I just don't understand. Like, how did you think that's a catchy thing? You know what I mean? The
Right.
names sound like pet names. No, I completely agree. It just I I get where Kim is coming from, and I honestly do believe Kanye has like really manipulated North to be it, really in this whole circle. Because why would you want to be a part of essay scandal of a bunch of different people and roped in with this person? Because Kanye said that Diddy was like a father figure to him, which is just crazy.
Right. I honestly think that unfortunately, Kanye suffers and struggles with a lot of mental health issues.
Mhm.
And I don't think that they're properly medicated. And sometimes he just doesn't make the best choices because of those mental health issues.
Well, and the problem is too, Ye has people around him that are basically all yes men.
Of
Like,
course, people that have money have people that follow them just for the money.
oh yeah,
Like,
and it's
like work with them closely and say yes to everything and always agree with them because they're putting money in their pockets.
and it's I feel like this is good advice for anybody. I mean, if you are in a friend group or hang out with a certain set of people, and that's how it always is because maybe you're like the popular one or whatever, you want to have that person around that's going to question you. You want to have that person that's going to challenge maybe not every decision obviously, but especially whenever it's the important things or the really wild out there things, have that person that's going to be like, homie, what are you doing? Like, this
Right.
can go different directions, because that's just one of those ways you grow. If you just have yes men around you, you cannot grow and build upon yourself. So it just, yeah, I would suggest that for anybody. If you don't have that person, find them. Find that person that maybe they aren't in your life because they've kind of pissed you off because they did question you. Work around it.
You always need someone that's going to be honest and give you their honest opinion. And like one of those people for me is Patty that's in here. Like if
Mhm.
I have to run something by Patty, I'm like, hey, Patty, I'm about to do A, B, C, and D. What's your thoughts on that? It's always good to go to a few trusted people that you know are going to guide you in the right direction.
Yeah, 1,000%. And Indiana made a good point. Talking about they did the same thing with Freddie Mercury. Like whenever his money started going downhill, everybody ditched him. Everybody. He lost every single person he had. So it's a crazy, crazy thing. And that's kind of one of those things that you kind of take on when you get famous or you start having money, is you are going to get those people coming for you just because of what you have, and you have to try and work around that. So yeah, that's what's going on. There's really not a ton of celebrity drama going on. There was this whole thing with one of the Island Boys and
Fly Soldier
yeah, Fly Soldier and
and
his
Kayla.
girl and Kayla, um, where basically, so they just had a baby. I think the baby is like 7, 8 weeks now. And the baby was in the NICU from the time that the baby was born. Not in good shape, and they just had to kind of bring him back. So, baby's in the NICU, finally gets out, and within a week, Fly Soldier wants to go clubbing and go partying and do all this stuff instead of hanging out with the kid. And Kayla has a history of being jealous about the fact that, other girls may look at you or whatever. Honestly, I don't think she has much to worry about because dudes are fucking
Honestly,
crazy.
you can't blame the other woman. You have to blame your man in those situations. I've been there. I used to be that woman that would be like, "Oh, like F this woman." It's really the man.
So I'm gonna argue that in this case, yes, I 100% agree with that. Um, I have been in relationships where it was literally she was so worried about losing me, and I wasn't like talking to anybody, I wasn't doing anything, but she was so worried about losing me that she was the same way.
It's
Like,
codependency issues is
yeah.
what it is. And it really all stems from unresolved childhood trauma.
I mean, you can be so happy with somebody that you can be afraid to lose them. I mean, that's okay. It's whenever that starts affecting things and making it so that other person can't even go hang out with friends and all that stuff. Like that was what ultimately led to her and I splitting up. In Indy, it wasn't a guilty conscience. So I know there are a lot of different things that happen, and everybody's kind of story is different. It was literally just she was so afraid to lose me because I treated her right. Um, I gave her the good D in bed, you know what I'm saying? So it was like she did not want me to go anywhere.
Kyle, what the freak antibiotics are you on, bro? You are spitting the shit out today.
I'm
Look at me. Dude, I'm telling you, I'm beat red because I'm dying at the shit you're saying.
Hey, dude, I'm just here, but hey, it's true.
Oh my god,
You got to
dude.
follow for
I
that one.
want
See
to
how it
know
goes?
what antibiotics you're on.
It's some good shit, that's for sure. Um, so it's
Wow.
true though. Like it was all about keeping me, and that is what split us apart in the long run. Because I was like, I I think the final straw was kind of I got invited to a party with one of my homies. It wasn't so much that I didn't want her to go. It's just like we were always together, so I just wanted that little break. Wasn't going to do anything, didn't want to do anything, didn't care about anybody else. She was good. And she got pissed because I even wanted to go because I asked her if, hey, would you be okay with this? And she flipped out about it. So that ultimately led to us splitting. And then, yeah, it just like, it was all a bunch of unnecessary stuff that I think if she would have just let me go to that and do my thing, nothing would have happened. And it was the same thing with her. Like I was okay if she went and hung out with somebody. Stage five.
Stage 5.
Yeah, it's like I was fine whenever she went and hung out with her friends, and her friends were reckless motherfuckers. Like, I mean, they would be out down and dirty and try and convince her to do some shit. Now, I knew she wouldn't, but still, like, your friends are fucking nuts, and I'm cool with you going out doing your thing. So it was just a weird situation. But, anyways, so all this is going on. Kayla's freaking out about all this stuff. Like, hey, at least let me come with you. So Kayla and Fly Soldier go to the club. Kayla ends up getting into a fight with some chick, gets her face all beat up, all types of stuff, and then Fly goes to the hospital with her, and then
No.
leaves.
Yeah, well, she goes to the hospital. He
Right.
posted on Snapchat the fight.
Oh, right. Go ahead.
He ends up leaving the hospital. He said he wanted to go home and be with the baby. I don't know who was even watching the baby at the time. They probably have help. I mean, obviously they had somebody to watch the baby. But he went home, and instead of being there to comfort her, she's postpartum, she's going through
Mhm.
all these emotions. She just got the what beat out of her and smacked out of her.
Yep.
He's home on social media, and Not with her, sitting there with her.
And then he's talking about, oh, I want to break up and all this stuff. Like,
Well, the reason why he said that he posted it on Snapchat without her consent is because they have a huge platform.
mm,
Obviously, if you're going to be showing yourself on social media, then you show up with marks on your face and black eyes. Who are they going to think did that to her? I would go right for the man. So he wanted to protect himself and post it, but she felt some sort of way because it was never talked about. Like she said, I would have went live with you and been like, it was not you. But
right.
like he said, so many women are going to be like, no, he's an abuser. You're sticking up for the abuser.
Which you see a large problem was caused with them because of just, I don't know, the general public's assumptions or the stigma that's kind of always there. Because just because a woman gets beat up, it doesn't have to be her man. Now, if it's a regular thing, you're seeing it all the time, okay, something's kind of sketchy there. But a random fight, everybody knew they were going out to the club and shit, knew something probably
Right.
happened.
They were making multiple Snapchats
Right.
previous. They were posting TikTok stories and videos about their getting ready for their first date night
Yep.
back out there again. We live in a world where sometimes people see someone famous and they want to provoke that other individual. And I feel like those girls were trying to provoke Kayla.
Sure. And who knows? I mean, the Island Boys have such a bad rap too. Like you know you're gonna hear a lot of shit about your man. You know people are gonna come at you for being with a bum, all types of stuff. So I get why all this is happening, but they are feeding into that stigma kind of because, dude, your kid just got out of the hospital.
They should have never went out. But if you've ever been a NIC unit parent, which I have been, I it's a very rough life to be living like 24/7, twenty four
Yeah.
seven. The worries, this, that. Now, would I have made the choice to go out? Probably not. But
Nah.
when you're in that situation and you feel threatened, like, well, my man's about to go out and could A, B, C, and D happen while my eyes aren't right there next to him?
Right.
Probably.
Right.
Probably. And that's the unfortunate thing. You have to trust the person that you're with. And once that trust is gone and you can't trust that person and they break your trust over and over again, that's when you really got to see the red flags for what they are.
I will say in this situation, I do not think he is a loyal
Bad.
guy. I
Right.
don't know him. Who knows? He
Right.
might be the most loyal person ever. I don't get that just based on all the stuff that I've seen, but at the same time, it's not always people worried about the partner. It's worrying about everybody else that's going to come at the partner because you got, you in the club, you got four, five, six chicks trying to dance with you and trying to kiss all up on you. And even if you're saying no, they could be in there grabbing your junk, trying to do whatever. And I could see where she would get nervous about that because that's how that culture is, especially in LA.
Right.
So LA, Miami,
Miami. I think they're in Miami.
I think so too.
Right.
It's like I do get a little bit that jealousy and concern and all that stuff, but at the same time, like I'm sure he's given plenty of reasons for that to be there too.
Right. Women just don't become insecure and like that for a reason without good reason to believe so.
I miss the '90s too, Andy. The '90s were the shit. I wish I could wake up. It's like fucking even '95 again. I was
I was about to
so
say
little.
1994.
Is I was a little kiddo at that time, but shit, I remember I could get on my Super Nintendo, play some freaking Ninja Turtles, and it would be the bomb. Watch some cartoons.
Played
That's
some
it.
Contra.
Oh hell yeah! Dude, that was the good old days. We ain't never getting those times back, man. I wonder if the kids nowadays are going to look back in like 20, 30 years and be like, man, I miss the 2020s. And it's going to be like, dude, this is all like, this is nightmare times right now. This is a horrible, like, I
You
don't
ain't
even know what's going
kidding.
on. But who knows? I feel like by the time we are old, the world will have changed like a crazy amount.
My daughter keeps telling me that I need to save up $300,000 for a car that can fly. I'm like,
Oh, hell
girl,
no.
first of all, she's like, Mom, you need to save up 300. I'm like, first, $300,000. Yeah, okay. I'm going to save that.
That's all fine and dandy, but you got to remember with stuff like that that if anything happens, something breaks down, you get in a wreck, you're in the air, homie. It's game over. You're done.
Right.
It's like I'll keep my happy ass on the ground, thank you.
Because my daughter keeps telling me, Mom, when I have kids, I'm going to be flying around in my car. Like, I'm not going to be driving like you do. And I'm sitting there thinking, man, she might be right.
Hitting Jetsons times, homie.
Like, bring me with you.
They have robots doing surgeries already. Oh yeah, yeah. It's soon. There is, gosh, I can't think of his name. He's called like the Vampire Man or whatever. But there's a dude who has been basically living his life so that his body temperature and beats per minute is constantly extremely low, and he eats a very certain way and doesn't go around germs and all types of stuff, basically in an attempt to live longer. And he's into some really crazy stuff. The thing that I don't agree with him, he talks about everybody basically their heart has a certain amount of beats that it's going to get throughout your lifetime, and things you do, everything you do kind of affects how many beats you have, which in some cases is true, but there are a lot of other things involved with that. So it's like
Multiple different I can't even,
variables.
thank you.
Yeah,
Couldn't
yeah,
spit that word out. Go into that, different health issues that you might have, genetics.
yeah.
So that
Oh,
that doesn't really sound that logical to me, to be honest with you.
supposedly he is extremely, extremely healthy, and if anyone's got a chance, hell, maybe it's him. But that could be the key to living longer. Who knows? In the next 200 years, we may have whatever it takes so that we can live forever. And I don't, I feel like that's not a good thing. That's not a good thing to go for. I don't think we need to live forever, maybe a little longer, making sure everybody's living till they're 100, 150 even. That would be cool. But besides that, I don't know.
Right.
Uh,
I wish that instead of living forever, I could just look younger forever.
That's fair. Hell
That's all I want to. That's the only key that I need to unleash.
with the makeup tutorials and shit, you damn near can.
Well, I don't know. It's true. Makeup can do wonders for some people. Like, I've seen some makeup tutorials that have blown me out of the water from what the
Mhm.
person looked like before the makeup and then after the makeup is like,
That's what I'm saying. Anytime you going out to the club, you going to kick it with some girl, it's the first date or whatever. Pay the waiter about $100. That should do it, and have him just spill some water like right on her face or something, and then she'll have to wipe it off and get cleaned up, so you'll see without that makeup.
water is, it needs to be something more than water because water will just bead off and the makeup will still stay perfect looking, bro.
Nah, that's bullshit. Fuck all
She
them
can just
crazy bitches.
dab her face.
Nah, that's insane. At
But
least you'll know.
has that ever happened to you where somebody like straight catfished you before and then you wake up and it's like,
No, because I never put myself in those positions. Like I never
right,
needed to. So
right.
I would lose my mind. Like wake up and see fucking gremlin just pow.
That's why, like me, I finally put myself on one of those online dating apps.
Oh, did you?
And guess what? It's like, dude, No, I'm all set with that. I just need to authentically meet someone because the dudes are trying to catfish the women up on
Oh, it's
those things.
everybody.
They're using filters, and I'm
Yeah.
like, a man that needs, I don't know, man. I just, the filters can really alter the way that people look. I did it just for fun, but trust me, I haven't even opened up my inbox since I did it because that's how scared I am. I seen a few messages come through like right as I did it, and I was like, yeah, this is enough for me. I never even opened it back up again.
Nah, these motherfuckers are crazy.
Yeah,
What's your thing? Like what's your description on your
I
profile?
didn't even put a description.
Oh, you just did a picture?
Just did a picture. I just wanted to see what would happen. And I haven't been back on
Uh,
there to check it out because I don't want to look. I would rather somebody just like I bump into somebody or somebody that I know hooks me up with someone
I
that they
have
know.
I have never been big into any of that. Like it's just not I don't know. I've always been able to meet people organically. I
See,
couldn't.
I don't leave my house enough to meet people organically.
Yeah, that is a problem. You don't your options are a little bit more limited. That's where you got to meet like one of the single dads at one of the kids' functions or something.
That's where I kind of noticed that it's kind of popping at the
Oh
school
yeah.
events. You remember how I used to hate going to school events? Now I'm like, all right, kids, get dressed, let's go.
Find them good dads. Some of them, some of them are single, and just
Right.
be like, "What's up, homie?" Just get their number. Just say, "Hey, you look cute. You can do this." All right.
It,
Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. All right.
it's crazy.
Give your pickup line. I want to hear it.
I don't know. I
You
don't have a
don't.
pickup line.
What do you do? Like if you thought a dude was cute and you went up to him and was like, "Hey, what's up?" You don't
I don't
know?
know. Kyle, I'm such an antisocial person that I don't have a pickup line. Like,
Girls don't need that much though.
plus I'm the type of person that wouldn't want to do that because I would be afraid I was hitting on somebody that was in a relationship. Like I want to make sure that they're not
Look for
in
the
a
rings.
relationship. Dude, does a ring matter?
Not always, but that at least gives you a little clue where you can kind of scope out some of them. And then shit, all you got to do nowadays, you just walk up and just do one of those like quick little brush bys, maybe show a little side boob or something, and then like go on about your day.
Kyle, the antibiotics are fucking with your head today, dude.
Hey, you know what? It's a good time. I'm making it, I think. But no, I'm telling you, dude, that's legit all you got to do, especially for a guy. It doesn't have to be crazy. Am I okay? No. No, I'm not. But I'm hoping it will be okay. All right, what
But
else
I'm
we
liking
got?
this side of you, though, Kyle. I'm liking the more loose side of Kyle.
Hey, I try and be all prim and proper on here. I just do not care, like at all right now. We're going to talk about the immigration stuff. So there is, and I didn't write the names down, so I can't completely remember, but the immigration crackdown has gotten really, really bad lately. So it was really focused on people that could be a danger and people that were seriously here, like you are here illegally, motherfucker, get out. That is really starting to disappear. So ICE has been going after quite a few people lately, and one of the bigger stories that got out was there was a couple that was the wife was in the U.S. I can't remember for how many years, but it had been a little while. Ended up meeting her now husband. They were really happy. It was a small town. They did a little dinner at a steakhouse, and everything was. Honestly great and very by the book. And Ricky said even in small towns in Wisconsin, so this is actually where they were
Right.
traveling back from. So they went on their honeymoon after everything and got stopped in the airport. They had been going on vacation. They were looking for a house. They were planning on having kids. Everything was normal. And then they go to the airport, get stopped. Somebody asks the woman, "Hey, are you an American citizen?" She said, "No, I'm not. I am from Peru, but this is what I am currently doing. This is kind of where I'm at. Everything is legal here, so it should be okay." And she ended up getting detained because they are now detaining people who are legally here, whether it's marriage or whatever. I mean, because her status is in review. That's not like you can't be here or you came over here illegally. That's just the paperwork is still getting figured out, and she's
Right. It's a
allowed.
process that takes time
Mhm,
and it takes interviews and all these things. So
mhm.
it's like, if it's in review, it doesn't necessarily mean that eventually she wouldn't be able to get granted her citizenship. The fact that she's working on it and then you're going to take that away from somebody.
I really don't understand why they're going after people like that. Like that's really the people you're trying to get rid of.
Right.
What is she doing? And just like, so whenever I was reading this, there was kind of a list of other people. Like there was one woman that she's been a US citizen for like 30 years, and something was in review, or she lived in the US for 30 years and was married to a US citizen, and she got deported. And it's like, these are housewives and shit that aren't doing anything wrong. Now, I do believe if you are here illegally and you came over the wrong way, hey, you should have done it the right way. Figure that out. You might, probably don't need to be here at the moment. But besides that, like these are people that did it the right way. They're doing the paperwork and the work and everything, and they're still kind of getting sent back. I don't think that's quite right. But
Right.
hey, what do I know? It's scary, man. It's good that they're cracking down a lot, because I did agree with the fact that, they're getting rid of criminals. Whenever that was the goal, I'm down.
From the beginning, I saw lots of other stories of people that were getting pulled from ICE from different situations and they had no criminal history.
But a lot of those people were collateral damage. Like they had no criminal history, but they were involved with someone who did have criminal history. That's where a lot of those people were coming from. Not everybody, but a good portion. Now it is turning into there's no association with criminal activity or anything, and they're going ahead and taking them anyways. That's the part that's kind of getting iffy. So I don't know. It's scary, man. I am very glad they were focused on it again to begin with. I think it's getting a little unnecessary in some of the things now. But we'll see. We'll see how it continues. Maybe it'll slow down. Maybe it'll speed up. And here soon, it's going to be really crazy. We don't know.
What do you think about Canada potentially being the 51st state?
Has something else happened with that?
I have friends that live in Canada and I hear them talking very frequently about it.
I still don't think that's going to happen. I
I
find
don't either.
I find it very, very unlikely. Now, I did see they picked a really, really popular gosh, what was he, like a real estate? No, he was an investment banker. Um, there was a really, really popular liberal investment banker that is like the head of the Liberal Party now in Canada. There's a lot of talk about him at the moment for, being in charge and everything like that. There is, I didn't brush up on it a ton. I kind of skipped over that today, but they're kind of going through their whole thing where they're trying to figure out who's going to be the boss. And I really hope whoever they pick doesn't have some like weird ulterior motive and we do end up joining, because I do not know what that would do for the economy. It would make us stronger and we'd have more resources and everything. Um, but at the same time, it might be too much. And there's going to be a lot of give and take and all that stuff. And yeah, Indy, I saw Trudeau is out, but I don't think this dude actually took over yet. I think he is one of the big shots and has a good chance, but I don't think he actually is the new prime minister. So we'll have to kind of see how that goes because as of right now, it's just still fear. That's all that I'm hearing from my Canadian people is they are
Right.
terrified of what's going to happen. I think that we could absorb them and it would instantly turn into civil war and it would be split up instantly again because I don't see people taking that lightly.
Right. People are not going to take that lightly because their ancestors fought for it to be that way too. So,
I don't know a ton about Canadian history. Like I know bits and pieces here and there, and understand a little bit of the wars and the whole shit with the Dutch and French and all that stuff. But I don't know a ton, so I might have to brush up on that because I'm really kind of interested. Obviously a lot's been going on, so I haven't had a chance, but that should be pretty much everything. I will keep everyone updated on what is going on with me, and we'll see you next week.